when the painful endurance is going to last. You poured 1,000 hours into a broken frame, feeling completely trapped by a familiar name. Walking a road that leads to a dry land, holding a fragile rope burning your hand. Time spent walking in the wrong direction does not require your endless affection. Cut the heavy iron, let the anchor drop. Give yourself the freedom to finally stop. Quitting is an act of an incredible brave heart, tearing the comfortable illusion completely apart. You do not owe loyalty to a mistake. Leave it behind for your own sake. Afraid of the empty hands and a blank page, staying comfortably numb inside a familiar cage. The dictionary calls it a sunken cost, believing that letting go means you have lost. But the ship only sails when the weight is gone, a brand new horizon waiting at the dawn. Time spent walking in the wrong direction does not require your endless affection. Cut the heavy iron, let the anchor drop. Give yourself the freedom to finally stop. Quitting is an act of an incredible brave heart, tearing the comfortable illusion completely apart. You do not owe loyalty to a mistake. Leave it behind for your own sake. Refusing to carry the pointless burden anymore. Do not let yesterday dictate tomorrow's view. A beautiful ocean is waiting for you. Cut the heavy iron, let the anchor drop. Give yourself the freedom to finally stop. Illusion completely apart. You do not owe loyalty to a mistake. Leave it behind for your own sake.
Dust is dancing in a column of sun, watching the races that are already won by not a runner. The tea is steeping in a ceramic silence, a quiet, beautiful kind of defiance. I used to think the world was a mountain to climb, but now it's just a velvet way to pass the time. No one's calling and the silence is gold, a story that doesn't need to be told. And the strange kind of comfort in the weight of the light, pressing down softly, making everything right. I'm letting the gravity do all the work. watching the knots in my memory finally release. I watched a stranger through the window pane, adjusting his tie in the middle of the rain. He looked so certain, so perfectly aligned with the version of the world that I've left far behind. I remember when I used to care about the shine on my shoes, back when I had something I was terrified to lose. But there's a luxury in having nothing to prove to the wall. No ladder to balance, no fear of the fall. The ceiling is a map of the places I've been, while the floor is a steady, unshakable friend. I'm breathing in the dust and the shadows and the gray, and honestly, it's the highlight of my day. Everything is still, everything is enough. The edges are no longer rough. There's a strange kind of comfort in the weight of the light, crashing down softly, making everything right. I'm letting the gravity do all the work today, while the rest of the universe is drifting away. It's not a surrender, it's a masterclass in peace, watching the knots in my memory finally release. Feeding the machine another blank sheet, listening to the rhythm and the steady beat. The scanner light is creeping up the glass, watching the blue reflection slowly pass. The smell of toner hanging in the air. I'm just a ghost sitting on a plastic chair. Everything is sharp, everything is cold, a story that I never really wanted told. Just a pixelated version of the truth, wasting all the silence of my youth. Caught in the glow of a blue skin, trying to remember who the hell I am. Warm paper sliding out into my hand, in a language I don't quite understand. Keep the resolution low, keep the blur down, just disappearing in every single word, yeah. Under the blue skin, black ink staining on my fingertips, biting down the questions on my quiet lips. The office chairs are lined up in a row, watching all the digital minutes go, stapling the pages of a life I lead, something that I hope you never have to read. Everything is sharp, everything is cold, a story that I never really wanted told. Just a pixelated version of the truth, wasting all the silence of my youth. Caught in the glow of a blue skin, trying to remember who the hell I am. Warm paper sliding out into my hand, in a language I don't quite understand. Keep the resolution low, keep the blur demons whispering a name. Nothing in this copy ever looks the same. Collecting the sheets and walking to the door. I'm not the person that I was before. Go down, peel it on the tray. Let the blue fade, another shade of gray. Just like your feet, keep it slowly you're feeding a machine another blank sheet. Tapping the oval shape against the marble top, creating the tiny spider web before making it stop. Rolling the fragile sphere under the palm of the hand, listening to the cracking sound like stepping on sand. A puzzle of calcium breaking into tiny pieces, waiting for the tension in the center to release. Pocket at the wider base, pinching the transparent film in a microscopic space, pulling the jagged shell away from the glowing white, keeping the slippery exterior entirely inside. A careful excavation on a sunny afternoon, revealing a miniature and perfectly round moon. Tapping the oval shape that custom marble top, creating a tiny spider web before making it stop. Rolling the fragile sphere under the palm of the hand, listening to the cracking sound like stepping on sand. Too deep into the side, so breathe aside, tearing a chunk of the protein. Nowhere to hide, ruining the flawless geometry of the oval sphere. The yellow center suddenly appearing near, an unexpected crater on a smooth terrain, wiping the tiny broken fragments down the drain, brushing off the fingertips, holding the asymmetrical result, opening the mouth too. Carrying a backpack full of unseen eyes, smiling through the teeth to maintain the disguise, typing out apologies you do not owe, putting on a perfectly directed show. Take a second, put the heavy armor down. Nobody is great in how you wear the crown.
Leave a little margin on the edge of the page. Step away from the center of the glowing stage. You do not have to prove your worth every single day. Let the imaginary expectations wash away. A beautiful life happens in the blank space. Stop running in an invisible race. Leading every text message twice before you send. Trying to be the flawless, universally loved friend. Burning up the fuel to keep the engine bright. Losing all your hours to the neon light. Leave a little margin on the edge of the page. Step away from the center of the glowing stage. You do not have to prove your worth every single day. Yeah, let the imaginary expectations wash away. A beautiful life happens in the blank space. Stop running in an invisible way. Close your eyes. There is no hidden judge. There is no final prize. Breathe in the air and let the shoulders drop. Give yourself permission to finally stop. Leave a little margin on the edge of the page. Step away from the sunlight of the glory stage. You do not have to prove your worth every single day. Yeah, let the imaginary expectations wash away. Oh, beautiful life happens in the blank space. Stop running in an invisible ways.
Provide relief. They empty their pockets of sorrow and pain, leaving you standing in their personal rain. You take the hell it drops into your own bread, carrying their shadows long after they fled. Learn how to build a waterproof shell. You do not have to live in that personal hell. Let the little words slide off the core. You need your own energy to stay afloat. Be in a shelter beautiful art. Drawing a line before the fractures start. Refusing the toxic spill is never a crime. Protecting the peace of your own given time to build a waterproof shell.
Halfway through the heavy chapter, a quiet silence follows the expected laughter. The hero does not always have to save the burning day. A simple piece of leather marks the middle of the way. The coffee ring stains the wooden table near the cupboard. A beautiful mystery you do not need to discover. We race toward the final conclusion without a single breath, treating every unfinished sentence like a tiny dent. A thin piece of fabric holds the entire universe in place. The unread pages can comfortably wait inside their space. There is absolutely no rush to reach the final ending line. A temporary halt is the most beautiful part of the design. Rest your tired eyes and gently close the heavy spine, leaving the remaining adventure for another sunny time. Light shifts across the cozy room, erasing the imaginary pressure and a subtle gloom. The urgency melts into a deeply satisfying rest. You do not have to conquer every single massive test. A suspended moment carries a magic of its own, a quiet kind of peace that you have rarely known. The absolute best stories allow you to step away. A quiet interruption is never a sign of decay. Give yourself the graceful permission to firmly stop, watching the heady expectations slowly drop. Thin piece of fabric holds the entire universe in place. The unread pages can comfortably wait inside their space. There is absolutely no rush to reach the final ending line. The temporary heart is the most beautiful part of the design. Rest your tired eyes and gently close the head. Pulling in the bay number 4, pink foam sliding down the door. High pressure hitting the chrome, feeling miles away from prone. Just a pocket full of silver coins where the metal and the water joins. Yeah. Silver mist and a neon light, cleaning off the residue of the night. I'm just rinsing out the stain of everything that caused the pain. Midnight car wash, keeping it clean. Mechanical rhythm of the machine. Glossy finish on a broken heart, waiting for the engine to start. Soap and water and a quiet beat underneath the vapor and the heat. Yeah, midnight car wash. Yeah. Waxing down the hood of the car, thinking about how we got this far. Looking at my own blurred face in this wet and lonely space. The vacuum hums a low-key song, wonder where it all went wrong. Silver mist in the neon light, cleaning off the residue of the night. I'm just rinsing out the stain of everything that caused the pain. Midnight car wash, keeping it clean. Mechanical rhythm of the machine. Glossy finish on a broken heart, waiting for the engine to start. Soap and water and a quiet beat underneath the vapor and the heat. Yeah, midnight car wash. Wiping down the dashboard slow, focus on the stereo. Just the scent of the cherry spray, chasing all the ghosts away. Driving out into the dark, leaving behind a single spark. Try it off, keep it soft. High pressure, pure pleasure, clean slate. It's getting late. Midnight and car wash. Hey, yeah. Every conversation feels like a heavy trial. People demand a rapid answer across the aisle. The jury waits for your immediate sharp reply, while the pressure builds under a blinding sky. We construct a hasty argument to survive the heat, faking a profound wisdom from a nervous seat. Who wrote the rule that we must always know where goodness, exhaustion, obligation grow? I had no idea is a beautiful, complete phrase. We can walk right out of this intellectual maze. The absolute freedom of an empty, quiet mind, leaving the heated, pointless debates far behind. My lips are sealed, the wooden gavel can finally fall. I refuse to build another defensive wall. The timeline demands a stance on every single fight, choosing a harsh side between the left and right. A million experts shouting in a crowded room, trading their fragile peace for a louder doom. Silence is treated like a punishable crime, but I choose to let the others fight for the shiny golden crown. I am happily putting the microphone down. No one is a beautiful complete phrase. We will walk right out of this intellectual maze. Absolute freedom of an empty, quiet mind. Even the heated, pointless debates far behind. My lips are sealed, the wooden gavel can find fall. I refuse to build another defensive wall. Scrolling the feed in the middle of the night, watching the others taking their flight. You feel like a train stuck at the gate, worrying that you are arriving too late. Put the glowing screen away for a while. You cannot measure a life by a single mile. We are living in a different time zone. You do not have to build a castle alone. The flowers bloom at a varying pace. This is a journey and never a race. Set your own clock and let it unwind. You are never ahead, you are never behind. Counting the years and the milestones missed, checking the boxes on an invisible list. The heavy pressure of keeping the speed, water in a garden from a different seed. Put the glowing screen away for a while. You cannot measure a life by a single mile. We are living in a different time zone. You do not have to build a castle alone. The flowers bloom at a varying pace. This is a journey and never a race. Set your own clock and let it unwind. You are never ahead, you are never behind. The sunrise is early on the eastern shore, but the evening colors always offer something more. Breathe in the rhythm of your own beating heart. Every single moment is a beautiful start. We are living in a different time zone. You do not have to build a castle alone. The flowers bloom at a varying pace. This is a journey and never a race. Set your own clock and let it unwind.
spaces wide and cold, stories that were never told. One empty hanger on the metal bar, thinking about how things actually are. Shoulders of a sweater left a ghost-like shape, planning a small and a quiet escape. Actually I'm digging the extra room, watching the silence begin to bloom. Dust is settling on a wooden shelf, making a friend of my current self. Wait for the rhythm to fill the gap, falling into a mid-afternoon trap. Click, clack, swinging on a wire, quitting the habit of a high-speed tire. Left, right, moving in the light, keeping the balance of the morning bright. It's a plastic heavy kind of a sway, watching the clutter just drift away. Denim jeans folded in a neat little square, breathing in the scent of the indoor air. Actually I'm fine with the missing piece, finding a slow and a sweet release. Buttons are shining like tiny white teeth, hiding the secrets that lie underneath. One small hook with nothing to hold, telling a truth that is brave and bold. A click, clack, swinging on a wire, quitting the habit of a high-speed tire. Left, right, moving in the light, keeping the balance of the morning bright. It's a plastic heavy kind of a sway, watching the clutter just drift away. Plaster wall lines are blurring in a pleasant way, counting the hours of a quiet day. One more breath and a final turn, watching the bridges behind me burn. Click, clack, swinging on a wire, quitting the habit of a high-speed tire. Left, right, moving in the light, keeping the balance of the morning bright. It's a plastic heavy kind of a sway, watching the clutter just drift away. Chalk dust settling on the raw pine floor, leaving the keys inside the kitchen door. Tracing a circle with the broken piece of lead, thinking of the things that I should have said. Actually I'm digging how the rough parts feel, trading a fake for a jacket kinda real. Pain is peeling from the corner of the frame, starting a fire without a single flame. Scraps it smearing, let the could bleed, giving the hunger exactly what it needs. Flip it, turn it, keep the rhythm tight, making a mess in the middle of the light. Kind of a thing, watching the perfection just drift away. Blueberries crushed on a white ceramic plate, learning to love a messy kind of fate. Actually, I'm fine with the ink on my wrist, finding the
logic that the others might have missed. Then I misfrayed at the bottom of the hem, ignoring the roots while I'm plucking at the stem. Shadows are dancing in a sharp indigo square, breathing in the weight of the afternoon air. Sketches staring at the color bleed. Even the hunger exactly what it needs. Flip it, turn it, keep the rhythm tight, making a mess in the middle of the light. It's a raw edge kind of a day, watching the perfection thus drift away. Maps are just a memory of where we used to go, letting the current take me somewhere slow. Lines are meant for crossing, borders meant to blur, focusing on the things as they finally occur. One more breath and a step into the white, keeping the magic trapped deep down inside. Sketch it, smear it, let the color bleed, giving the holder exactly what it needs. Flip it, turn it, keep the rhythm tight, making a mess in the middle of the light. So it's kind of a day, watching the perfection just drift away. Drift away. The train is gone, but the station is totally fine. You do not have to follow the printed line. You packed the bags for a highly specific year, holding a paper filled with a heavy fit. Checking the time against a rigid flight, walking the terminal in the fading light. Every destination perfectly aligned, leaving the unexpected wonders far behind. Tear up the itinerary, let the paper go. You do not have to predict every single turn. It is perfectly fine if the original flight is missed. Erase the destinations from the heavy list. Wander around the city without a given name, walking completely out of the waiting game. Counting the milestones you were supposed to meet. Staring at the shoes on your tired feet. A sudden breeze blowing through the foreign town, setting the heavy luggage entirely down. The best discoveries happen off the track. No need to carry the burden on your back. The train is gone, but the station is totally fine. You do not have to follow the printed line. Tear up the itinerary, let the paper burn. You do not have to predict every single turn. It is perfectly fine if the original flight is missed. Oh, erase the destinations from the heavy list. Wander around the city without a given name, walking completely out of the waiting game.
of the heavy expectations on the velvet floor, opening the completely unwritten door. Tear up the itinerary, let the paper burn. You don't know how to predict every single turn. It is perfectly fine if the original flight is missed. So erase the destinations from the heavy list. Wander around the city without a given name, walking completely out of the waiting game.
Kicking up. Kicking up, curse soda can down the street. Sneakers dragging heavy on the asphalt heat. Summer breeze sticking to the back of my neck. Got my phone on silent, no messages to check. Yeah. Street dog sleeping on the hood of a car. Don't need a destination, not going far. Let the ice melt in the paper cup. On this calls for me to pick right up. Just me and the yellow lines on the road, taking off a heavy load. Keep walking, just keep walking. The moth hitting the street lamp pole. Focus on the sound, let the brain dissolve. Don't want advice, don't need a cure. Just walk until my feet get sore. Left, right, stepping on the painted wire. Swallow by the middle of the night. Oh, let the ice melt in the paper cup. No missed calls for me to pick right up. Oh, just me and the yellow lines on the road, taking on my heavy load. Yeah, keep walking. Just me and the yellow lines, leaving all the noise behind. Just me and the yellow lines, leaving all the noise
A blinking green dye waking up from the wall, rolling over the rug, avoiding the hall. Two little spinning brushes sweeping the pine, drawing an invisible meticulous line, bumping the wooden leg of the dining chair, recalibrating the angle with mechanical care, swallowing a forgotten piece of white thread, going completely dark underneath the bed. Hearing the motor hum against the floorboards, navigating the maze of the extension cords, a perfectly logical path across the room, replacing the swing of the wooden broom, hitting the thick edge of the bathroom mat, spinning the wheels, trying to climb over the fabric, giving Two little spinning brushes sweeping the pine, drawing an invisible meticulous line, bumping the wooden leg of the dining chair, recalibrating the angle with mechanical care. Battery dropping down to 5%, finding the signal where the journey went, align the metal pins to the charging base,